And here is the only Mexican heavyweight champion in history. There is Andy Ruiz Jr. Andy, how are you, my man? Good to see you.
Good to be back.
Well, listen, I've seen photos, but as I look at you now, you look in the best shape I've ever seen you. How good do you feel 9 days away until you take on Chris Arreola on pay-per-view?
I feel really good, all the hard work and dedication we've been doing, and, I'm not where I want to be at, but I'm way better than I was before, but we've been training hard for this fight. I know Chris Arreola is looking good. He's training hard as well, but, we're ready for whatever he brings.
Training under Eddie Reynoso. You could have gone to any trainer around the world, but you chose Eddie. Why so?
Because he has all the champions, and being here, that's where everyone's dedicated, everyone is disciplined, so I feel like I needed to make a change, and being here, I felt like I should have done that a long ass time ago.
So obviously, we're here in the gym of Eddie Reynoso, Canelo Alvarez as well. I think he's the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. I feel like you have both developed this chemistry and this friendship. What have you learned under Canelo?
A lot, Mostly, the main thing that I've learned from him is discipline. So that's something that, you can't buy. That's something that you can't teach, but we have to do it on our own. We got to want it. So that's what I was lacking on before, was the discipline. And being here, we learned a lot. We perfect every single punch. We try to perfect the movement, bobbing, weaving. I'm not just a straight fighter that just comes forward to have more ability. After I was losing weight, I seen the abilities that I have now. So, but the main thing that I've been learning is discipline.
My final question before I let you go, I know you're here to work out, and we're going to talk with you after your workout is over. But you fought Chris Arreola, or not fought, but you sparred with him when you were a teenager. I feel like this is old school against new school. Chris fought for the world title in 2009, lost. You went ahead and took it further and actually captured the heavyweight championship of the world, something that's never been seen before by a Mexican. How much is it sort of coming full circle that you sparred this guy when you were 16 and now you guys are setting forth to collide against one another on pay-per-view May 1st?
Well, it's pretty crazy because we sparred, like you said, when I was 16 years old. We went toe-to-toe, and, thanks to God, I was the one to become the first Mexican heavyweight champion of the world, and we both had the same dreams. We both had the same vision, but, we captured it, and what do you know? My dad always predicted, and he would tell me that me and him were going to fight one day, and what do you know? Next week is going to be the day.
Kicking out Cinco de Mayo week. How is that for you on pay-per-view?
It feels good, it feels really good, and now that I feel really good, not just for myself, but for my team and for my family, it's going to be an amazing night.
Well, Andy, we'll let you go and work out. We're going to be talking with Eddie Reynoso as well. You look in fantastic physical shape. Andy Ruiz Jr., the Destroyer himself. It is his media workout. Join us May 1 on Fox Sports BBC pay-per-view. Andy, we'll let you go and get to work, and we will break it down here. We're in San Diego. Andy Ruiz getting set to work out.
We're going to have Eddie and also his dad.
You want to go get my shoes, dude?
How was the journey to this point, man? It's just snatching out of everything that was going on through your life to finally get here. And it looks like you're really enjoying everything now, man.
Of course, I come smiling to the gym now, but, like I tell everybody, I'm not where I want to be at, but I'm way better than I was before. And, the main thing, we just got to keep working, stay busy, stay disciplined, and stay focused, Before we would just be in the gym when we would have a fight day, but this time we got to be in the gym. Even if we don't have a fight day, it has to be like a lifestyle. So, this is just the beginning of where I want to look at, There's still more to come.
What are the perks of being smaller, man? You get to take your shirt off more, or what is it?
No, just feeling good, I've learned different abilities that I could do, I could move around, I could bob and weave, I could throw different punches, combinations, so it's different. I was always this big Mexican guy always coming forward, but now I can switch it up, and hopefully on May 1st I'll be able to show you guys.
What you got in store for us today, Andy?
Just a little shadow boxing, moving around. You guys already saw the little conditioning thing that we had going yesterday. You know, just a little shadow boxing, hopefully not too much since all the hard work that we've already been doing. It's already almost finished. So now just to loosen up and get ready for May 1st.
All right, we're going to talk with Andy Ruiz, his father. Mr. Ruiz, I want to ask you in general, in terms of your son, watching what your son has done, his journey, his plight. Your son told me that you predicted that Andy and Chris would eventually one day fight. How did you know that that was going to happen?
You know what? Because we went to the gym in Riverside.
Okay.
And I was looking for sparring, so I went with Chris Arreola. And so when they saw him, they, oh, come on, this little kid is going to spar me? I'm going to beat this little kid. And I told him, you know what, Chris, one day you see sparring this kid,
yeah,
you're going to like it. You're going to see how he is. So everybody like laughing. So one day he get in the ring, then everybody was impressed. Everybody was impressed. And I told Chris, you know what, sooner or later, you and him, you're going to fight.
Wow, that's unbelievable because we're 9 days away from that fight happening on pay-per-view. I want to go back in time a little bit. June of 2019, Madison Square Garden, your son was a massive underdog, the third biggest underdog in heavyweight championship history. And he not only shocked the world, well, those that don't know boxing, but he became the first Mexican to become the heavyweight champion of the world. You being his father, what did that mean to you and your entire family?
You know what? That was my dream, to have that first Mexican heavyweight. And I predicted that too. I told Andy, you're gonna win this fight. You're gonna become the next Rocky, the Mexican Rocky. So I went and bet in the casino that he was gonna win that fight. Mm-hmm. And I told him I was betting in the 7th round that he was gonna knock Anthony Joshua.
Wow.
And I was fighting with all the people from England. Hey, you know what? You want to bet money that we're going to win the fight?
Yes.
And I told him, he believed in me that you're gonna win the fight. Everything that I've been telling you from when I started.
Since he was a son, a young kid.
From 5 years old to 14 years old that I trained him.
Yes.
I told him, you're going to be the next Mexican Rocky. And everything is coming the way I predict.
So now I want to talk about since that time when he won the world title. He lost in December 2019, and then obviously that didn't go his way. But Andy has been very honest about why things didn't go his way. But how much has he learned from getting so high and winning the heavyweight championship of the world, losing it, to now going ahead and going after the championship again? What has he learned?
You know what? He learns a lot that he needs to put his feet in the dirt, that he has to be honestly calm and train, and it was too many distractions. That time it was too many distractions. We went to a different camp that we didn't have to go to that camp. We should have been in the mountains someplace else. Yeah.
Secluded and far away from everything.
Far away from
with no distractions.
Yeah, because imagine he was the first Mexican heavyweight. Everybody wants an interview.
Everyone wanted to piece him.
Yeah. And we should have took it to a camp where it was nobody. Yeah. And maybe it would have been different.
So you're saying that things got a little bit hectic, and I mean, it's natural to kind of get wrapped up in that, right?
It's natural.
But now, being here with Eddie Reynoso, how much has he grown and evolved and developed since being with Reynoso?
You know what? Now that he's with Reynoso, I always told every trainer, Andy got a lot of speed in his feet.
Yes.
A lot of movement, but nobody wants to use that. And I had a meeting with Eddie Reynoso, and I told him I was going to bring my son over here. Mm-hmm. And he's doing the right things, moving all the things that he moved the head, he's moving
head movement.
So Eddie Reynoso is doing a great job. Him and Canelo, because Canelo is advising Andy too.
I almost feel too like, Andy is just flourishing from what I see in terms of physically and his mentality with this discipline that Eddie brings to the table and Canelo brings to the table, because you have the leader in Canelo, Eddie Reynoso, the esteemed trainer. I feel like this is what Andy needed. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's what he needed, and I knew that he would come over here. Canelo's real discipline. I was telling Andy, you know what? Look at Canelo, the way he's trained, the way he's taking his life. If we come over here, you're gonna learn a lot, Andy. So let's come over here, and then he's doing a great job.
You being a fight fan yourself, if your son wasn't involved in this fight, would you be? I'm sure you'd be watching anyway, because I think this is a fight fan's fight.
Yeah.
With Andy Ruiz and Chris Arreola.
You know what? Yeah, and I feel 100% happy that I know that he's doing the right things, and the best one is gonna win. The best, and they know each other, so it's gonna be a good fight, a great fight. So I hope everybody can buy the pay-per-view. They can come and see two worlds, Mexican, that they're gonna come and throw punches.
Mr. Ruiz, thank you so much for your time. Good luck to your son.
Thank you.
Mr. Ruiz, the father of Andy Ruiz, joining us here. Now we're going to talk with Eddie Reynoso, the esteemed trainer of Andy Ruiz. Also, I mean, talk about from a success standpoint, I think this is the best trainer in the sport. Martin Bader is going to go ahead and translate. ¿Cómo está, Eddie? Un placer. How are you? Good to be with you guys. Let me go ahead and grab the microphone over here. If we can go ahead and we're going to grab the microphone. That way we can make sure to talk with Eddie Reynoso himself. It's just immense knowledge and his passion for the sport of boxing. Martin Bader is going to translate. Eddie, when it comes to Andy Ruiz, what have been some of the changes that you have implemented with Andy Ruiz?
Cuando se trata de Andy Ruiz, ¿cuáles son los cambios que has implementado y qué cambios has visto en él?
Pues lo más importante es la disciplina y la mentalidad, que es lo que estamos trabajando en todo este campamento.
The most important thing really is the discipline and the mentality. Those are the main aspects that we have been working on throughout this camp.
Y a partir de eso ya nos da la pauta para trabajar muy bien en el gimnasio.
And working from that, then we have the building blocks to get better each and every day in everything we want to do here in the gym.
When Andy came to you, what is the one thing that you told him that was a necessity? Because you can train anybody that you want. What is the one thing that you told Andy that he needs to do in order to train with you?
Que vos podés entrenar a quien quieras. Vos podés elegir a quien quieras, pero elegiste a Andy. ¿Por qué? ¿Y qué le dijiste que él tenía que hacer para entrenar junto a ti?
Pues para empezar yo creo que siempre le vi que tiene mucho talento, es muy inteligente y sobre todo lo único que necesitamos es disciplinarnos. Creo que en el campamento demostró un gran corazón para trabajar y pues vean, está en óptimas condiciones.
The talent and the smarts, he was always really smart. That has always been there. What I knew he always needed was discipline, and it's a pleasure to work with him, and he has been doing great, everything I have asked for so far.
How excited are you to have your first fight with Andy against Chris Arreola?
¿Qué tan emocionado estás por tener tu primera pelea junto a Andy?
Pues estoy emocionado y la verdad van a ver a otro Andy Ruiz. Ha aprendido algunas cosas que ojalá y se vean en la pelea. Va a llegar en mejor forma física, mental y con muchas ganas de volver a ser campeón del mundo.
I'm really excited. You're going to see a new Andy Ruiz in that fight, both physically and mentally. And he is set to go and get those titles that he always has wanted to recover. He's ready for this fight, and I'm really excited to be there for him on May 1st.
Eddie, what are you anticipating in this fight against Chris Arreola? You have been in the corner with some big fights, and you know when Mexican fighters get in that ring with each other, they go toe-to-toe, but what do you expect on May 1st?
¿Qué es lo que esperas el 1 de mayo? Porque sabes que la verdad cuando los mexicanos entran al ring no hay cuartel, es una guerra total.
No, va a ser una pelea dura. ¿Por qué? Porque son dos mexicanos que tienen un estilo similar, tienen las mismas raíces y va a ser una pelea, lo que dura la pelea va a ser una pelea de muchos golpes.
It's definitely going to be a tough fight. You know why? Because they are two Mexican fighters that have come up with the same upbringing. So there is going to be nowhere to hide. They're going to bring the best out of each other, and it's going to be a great fight.
Not only do we have you here in the gym with your expertise and your knowledge, but also Canelo Alvarez, the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. How much of an influence has Canelo been on Andy Ruiz?
¿Qué tan influencial ha sido Canelo para Andy con todo lo que ha hecho en este campamento?
Pues creo que la disciplina, mira, tenemos un equipo, la verdad, muy completo. Está Oscar Valdés, Ryan García, Frank Sánchez, ahora Andy, Saúl. Creo que forman un gran equipo, un equipo de mucha responsabilidad, de mucha disciplina, y creo que Andy todo eso le ha ayudado bastante para trabajar más.
There's a great team here at the gym with Canelo, with Ryan Garcia, with Valdez, now Andy. And Canelo has really embraced the role of mentor and focusing on that discipline aspect of it. And making sure that he brings the point home about the responsibility of being a championship fighter.
My final question, it says no boxing, no life. Is that the mentality that you implement here in this training camp?
Bueno, en esta escuela dice no boxing, no life. ¿Esa es la mentalidad en este campamento?
Así es, vamos a estar en el box, hay que hacer las cosas al 100%, hay que trabajar, y más que nada, pues es la vida de uno que está envuelto en el box y debe de dar uno todo lo mejor.
Absolutely, that's the mentality. We are here to do our job. We are here in this gym to give our best, and that's what we're going to do up until the end.
All right, Eddie, muchas gracias. Thank you so much, and good luck on May 1st.
Thank you.
The best trainer in the business, Eddie Reynoso. We will be in the corner of Andy Ruiz on May 1st. All right, we are here with Andy the Third. Andy, how are you?
Good.
Tell us, how excited are you for Andy to go and step inside the ring on May 1st?
I'm really excited.
And tell us about these gloves that you have on.
Oh, just today, Eddie gave them to me as like a little gift.
What is it like when you see, Andy come out here and train and kind of get in and do what his thing?
Sometimes I train with him and I motivate him in the ring.
In terms of like watching him prepare, does that, are you like, man, he's really putting in all this work and time and dedication?
Yeah.
How excited are you to be there at the event next Saturday, May 1st, and watch him fight against Chris Arreola?
I'm really, really excited.
So if fans are going to be watching on pay-per-view, what can they expect?
They can expect?
Yeah, what are they going to expect? Like, what are they going to see?
Good fight.
And what's your prediction?
Like just like a.
Like, how's it going to happen? What's going to go down?
Like anything could go down. You're gonna not.
What? Yeah, go ahead. Say what you want to say.
Well, I know my dad is gonna win, but when my dad was 16, my dad sparred with Chris Arreola.
Wow, you have a future in broadcasting. He already knows the backstory and everything. Look at that. All right. Well, good luck to your dad. We're excited. We can't wait. And then finally, for people that are fans of your dad, what do you want to tell them at home?
Just make sure, whoever's watching this video, make sure you guys watch the fight.
He's got a future in broadcasting. My job might be on the line. We'll go back to the Andy Ruiz workout here in San Diego. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Nice job, bud.
Ni rojo se pone el cabrón. Ánimo, Garnica.
Sobre acabo de comer pescado. Ando pegado de pescado.
Están saliendo escamas, cabrón. Vamos, tiempo. Ahí va. Y ya le sueltas, ¿eh? Vamos, siguiente, vamos. Vamos, 10 segundos. 10 arriba, vamos. Tiempo. Da igual. El gordito hermoso, ¿viste, Carlos?
Carrión.
Despiértate, Abby, despiértate. Pon a entrenar, mi. tiempo. Let's go, Andy. Vamos. Ahora te voy a tirar. Contra botín. Contra golpea. Eso. Ahora de aquí, acuérdate de aquí. Ahí va. Eso iba. Eso, cabrón. Ahí está. Muy bien, Andy. Ahí va, ahí voy. Eso. Ahora sí, Rodolfo. Vamos. Mucha velocidad, esta velocidad no la había visto. Vamos. Veloz. Vivo aquí. Ahora sí, gama. Eso. Vivo aquí, vamos. Gracias. Ahí te va. 1, 2, 3 y luego te tiro aquí. Y 1, 2, 3. Vamos. 1, 2, 3. Eso, vamos. 1, 2, 3. Eso. Vivo acá. 1, 2, 3. Contragolpeame aquí, vas a hacer esto aquí. Con 3. 1, 2, 3. Ese mejor. Eso. Vamos. Échale. Ahí le ve el counter. Vivo ahí. Otra vez. 2 veces más. Vamos, 2 veces más. Ahí está. Otra vez. Eso. Bien. Vamos, 10 segundos. Bien, pues. Termina tu desplazo en lugar. 1, 2, 3. Eso. Por los otro lado.
And the match is up against Chris Arreola on Fox Sports PBC pay-per-view. Do not miss it. A big night of boxing coming your way as we begin the Cinco de Mayo holiday week with this tremendous night of boxing, predominantly featuring Mexican or Mexican-American fighters as well. It is cheaper than your customary pay-per-view when it comes to prize fighting. Andy Ruiz, the former heavyweight champion of the world, will match up against Chris Arreola in 9 days' time.
Aguas, porque ya se soltó el killer. Ya anda buscando las pesas el cabrón. Las más pesadas.
For the training and conditioning.
Yep. Well, where should I look? Just you?
Yeah.
Is the mic?
So,
Munir.
Conditioning.
It's
all right, so we're with the strength and conditioning coach, Munir. Can you tell us your first and last name, Munir?
Munir Somoya.
Somoya. Okay, so Munir, tell us about the fact that you have been helping to transform Andy. What has the process been like?
Has estado ayudando a Ruiz a transformarse, ¿no? Entonces, ¿cuál ha sido el proceso?
Mira, hemos estado entrenando diario, hace funcional, unas 3 veces por semana, también un poquito de carga de peso, le ayuda un poquito con su alimentación, le traemos en las mañanas un poco de dietas, entonces la verdad que le ha echado todas las ganas y no ha fallado en todo el entrenamiento, el campamento.
We've been really working hard with a variety of things. 3 times a week we do agility work, and then the rest of the week we also do some weights. And you know, we have actually also put a lot of emphasis on the diet, the food. Every morning we make sure that we have a proper balanced plan for the day, so he can be full physically and mentally.
How long have you been working with Andy?
Este es mi primer campamento que llevo con él. La verdad que llevamos 2 meses ya.
This is my first camp with him, and we've been working together for about 2 months now.
And in terms of his development, you know, how much faster and stronger has he's gotten since being with you?
Su desarrollo y qué tan fuerte se ha puesto desde
Sí, mire, por lo que escucho yo a Eddie, es que obviamente ve que el movimiento de cintura, sus golpes son más fuertes, se desplazan mejor con las piernas, entonces eso le ha ayudado porque ha estado un poco más delgado, bueno, más delgado, mucho más delgado, y más fuerza en las piernas también.
From what Eddie tells me, his lateral movement with the waist is so good right now, and despite the fact that he has lost weight, that doesn't mean that he lost power. In fact, Eddie tells me that Andy is even stronger now than he used to be when he was heavier.
The one thing that I hear about when it comes to prize fighting is building up the base, because the power comes from the legs and comes upward. I'm sure you've been working on, but what sort of drills have you been working on to make sure that that is the case?
Sí, fíjese que con todos los boxeadores que tenemos, la verdad que he trabajado siempre fuerte las piernas porque es el soporte, y también con Oscar Valdés, con Canelo siempre he trabajado las piernas, por eso es que tienen las piernas bien marcadas, porque la verdad que las piernas las trabajamos 3 veces por semana y a veces mucho funcional de pierna y otras veces con mucha carga de peso en pierna.
I put a lot of emphasis in the fact that power does come from the legs. And not only do we work at that with Andy, but we also do it with Oscar Valdez, Canelo. You see that Canelo's legs are really strong, and that's a byproduct of what we do 3 times a week. Agility work with the legs, and then at other times we also put a lot of weight on those legs to make them stronger, to make them more agile, and for them to be at their peak shape.
You talked about dieting. You know, what specifically have you done with Andy's diet to make sure that he's functioning at this high level?
No, yo no doy dietas ni nada de eso, nada más que me apoyan en la mañana con una alimentación que como yo y le preparo una porción para él que se la traigo aquí en el gimnasio a veces para ayudarle un poquito con eso, pero yo no doy dietas en sí.
I'm no dietitian per se, don't get me wrong, I'm not a nutritionist, but what I do is that in the mornings, what I eat for breakfast, I bring a portion along for Andy too, to sort of influence him, to want him to eat what I eat and have a healthy diet.
Well, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. You've done a wonderful job, and we look forward to seeing all of you next week.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. We'll go back to the Andy Ruiz workout here in San Diego.
time he says he's gonna try me, I'm like, fuck.
Andy, you ever spar your brother?
Huh?
You ever spar your brother?
Yeah, I've sparred a lot of times.
What happened?
Nothing. It's just a good experience for him too, you know, for him to learn and all that. But ever since we were a little kid, we used to spar. I used to let him hit me in my face, but once he got bigger and bigger, I couldn't do that no more. That was when we were younger. We were younger.
You're watching Andy Ruiz work out here in San Diego, the former heavyweight champion of the world, the only Mexican to become the heavyweight champion of the world. May 1st, he matches up against Chris Arreola live on Fox Sports PBC pay-per-view. Do not miss it as we begin the Cinco de Mayo holiday with Andy Ruiz and Chris Arreola here in Southern California. Ray Flores here in San Diego. So, Andy, for fight fans that haven't seen you since December of 2019, it's a welcome back. But what can they expect?
Just a different Andy, you know, a disciplined Andy. I know it's not going to show 100% of it in one camp, you know, in one fight. So, you know, the main thing that I've been learning was the discipline and staying busy, you know, not waiting until a long layoff. So after this fight, God willing, everything goes good. I got to move on to the next one. Still keep training, still, you know, stay motivated and, you know, do my thing.
You're a big family man. I see your son, your father as well. How much do they motivate you?
They motivate me a lot, you know. This is the whole purpose of me working hard, you know, to feed my loved ones, to feed my kids, and, you know, just give the fans what they want.
In terms of what you want, the message that you want to send to the rest of the heavyweight division on May 1st, what is that going to be?
Just that I'm back, you know, I'm back on top and I'm better than ever, man. And, you know, like I said, I'm not where I want to be at, but I'm way better than I was before. And it's not just an all show in one fight, you know, I got to stay busy, stay dedicated, and stay disciplined. That's the main key that I could tell every fighter, is to stay disciplined, not just inside the ring, but outside of the ring as well.
All right, Andy, my final question to you. What's your prediction May 1st against Chris Arreola? What's your prediction?
Now, everybody has a prediction. Everyone says they can say anything, but my prediction is just winning, becoming victorious, and, you know, winning. That's the main thing.
Andy, good luck. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Andy Ruiz Jr. joining us. Let me run down the pay-per-view again here. We're in San Diego as you will join us next Saturday night, May 1st on PBC Fox Sports pay-per-view. Andy Ruiz Jr., Chris Arreola. So long from San Diego as you've seen the former heavyweight champion of the world workout. Arreola Ruiz, PBC Fox Sports pay-per-view. So long for now from San Diego.